Hello and welcome to Matt Loves Eurovision. It's my Eurovision 2023 Top 37 countdown. It's place number 20. It's Armenia, Brunette and Future Lover. Please do click on the subscribe button, ring that notification bell and like, share and comment below. And as also just remember, we do have the link to the music video in the description below and also a link to the written version of this video. It's a blog post on my website. So we're finally in my top 20 and we're starting off with the final country from the three Caucasus countries, that is Armenia. Armenia had a pretty good record at Eurovision generally until recently when they had two non-qualifications in a row in 2018 and 2019. They had to withdraw from the 2021 contest due to various things happening in the country and region. But they came back with success last year with Rosa Linn's Snap, achieving a 20th place back in the grand final. But perhaps more importantly, it went on to be one of the biggest Eurovision hits of the year, in fact, indeed of all time, in terms of streaming. It went viral on TikTok and entered the charts right across the world, and I think it's up there with being one of the most streamed Eurovision songs of all time. So congratulations to Rosa. So it's big shoes for Brunette to fill, that is who is representing Armenia this year with her song Future Lover. Can she challenge for a top 10 finish? Well, she's only 21 years old. Her real name is Elaine Yeremian. She was internally selected. Armenia tends to internally select. And she's actually both the sole composer and the sole lyricist or writer of her entry, which is quite unusual. There's normally at least two or three co-writers, but she is the only one of her own song. She's released singles in the past, both as a solo artist and as part of a girl group. Now, the Future Lover is one of those songs which has a sort of a slight feel of being more than one song in one. It kind of has a sort of a pop ballad start, and it has a sort of pop ballad end, and it has a sort of R&B spoken word bit in the middle, sandwiched in the middle. That end crescendo part, the end part of the song, at the very end, is sung in Armenian. The rest of the song is sung in English. I think this is a very good entry from Armenia. I'll be honest, I was a bit sceptical and sure on first watch, listen, particularly of that spoken word, sort of R&B spoken style in the middle. It can be, spoken word can be a bit hit and miss. Often, I also see Eurovision sort of reviews often referring to anything that's spoken word like that as rap, which is, I don't think that is what it is. But actually, on this particular case, I think on a few listens, it comes together. It doesn't feel like you've spliced several songs together, which it sometimes can do. It does feel like it brings it actually does come together. And she's got good live vocals. She performed at least one of the pre-parties, and from what I saw, I think the live performance actually makes the song more impactful. And very solid live vocals. I think there's just a bit more, cohesion or sort of progression and sort of coherence to this song than is to perhaps Georgia's entry, which is not a million miles away in the kind of the type of genre. But yeah, this just feels like there's a bit more, sort of coherence to it. I think this classes as one of this year's dark horses. Although that said, it is in kind of the top 10 or 11 on the Eurovision scoreboard app, so it's not that much of a dark horse, perhaps. I don't think it's quite in the frame to win the contest, but I think there's definitely potential for a good finish here. She's been given the cursed second place in the running order in her semi-final, in the second semi-final. It's not as bad as the grand final, because that's about winning. This is just about qualifying. But even so, the second place in the running order is one of the worst places to try and qualify from. I think it's actually probably a deliberate ploy by the producers to kind of increase the qualification rate of that position, because this does feel like a fairly surefire qualifier, I think. I think it's more likely that it will negatively affect Denmark and Romania, much weaker entries, which are kind of sitting either side of this in the first and third positions in the running order. I'm expecting some really good staging from this. Armenia does normally do some good staging. And I think coupled with that strong live vocal and a confident performance, I think this should be Armenia's best result since Love Wave in 2016. But do let me know what you think. How do you think Brunette will do? Let me know in the comments, and of course, join me again very soon.